I don't like to put anybody on blast on social media because I've dealt with that in the past because my family's a mess. But nobody said anything about the old lady across the street. So I spend a lot of my extra monies on my water bill because of the pool, and I like to keep my grass really green. So ignore that. The heat did that, not me. Okay. It's looking pretty green. Pretty green. Well, the lady across the street has a really green yard too. And so the other day, I walk up to her, she's outside. We have a very sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's friendly relationship. And she's outside on her porch and doing what she's doing. And I go over there and I don't want to, I want to keep her an honest woman. Okay. I ask her, I was like, because I don't want to give her too much of a compliment. I don't want her to get a big head. So she has one part of her front yard that's really nice. So this is exactly what I say to her. I was like, I've been looking at your yard. I was like, trying to make it think like something's wrong. I was like, how do you get that one little section of your yard so green? See what I did there? And she was like, promise not to tell my secrets to anybody. I was like, oh, no. I want, what are you doing? She's like, well, I collect my coffee grounds all week and then I sprinkle them on the lawn on Sunday. And she's like, I can't go very far because of my legs. So that's why this area right here is so green. So I was like, oh my God, interesting. I've never thought about using coffee grounds. So that's what I've been doing. But I don't do it to my front yard because my front yard is fine. But my backyard, the heat has done a number on the spot. See, right here, that's from the heat. That's not from my inability to maintain a healthy lawn. I am a man, okay? So yesterday night, okay, no wait, 2 nights ago, it's my pool, it's my backyard, it's fenced in, I'm not trying to be like a freaky perv or whatever and be like, look at my wiener. I was skinny dipping, okay, but it was 10:30 at night and I was like, oh my God, I didn't get the mail. I want to show you where my mailbox is, okay? 10:30 at night, this lady across the street has went to bed. But this is all very important. The details are in the story, I promise. So it's not really that much of oh my God, what if somebody sees me? It's by the door, right here. So I'm just it's a very quick oh my God, butt ass naked, not wearing any clothes, hug to the wind, okay? So I noticed that her front door is still open still because you know how old people are always cold and it's always humid, so she's probably letting some hot air in so she doesn't, I don't know, die. But not even going to lie, so yesterday mid-afternoon the police show up, not to my house, but across the street, and they're shining their flashlights in there like a murder-suicide happened or a death, some sort of death happened. And I go over there because I'm freaking out. I was like, oh my God, she saw my hog in the wind. It either gave her a heart attack or she ran off and she called the cops. So something happened. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble. So I thought I might have killed this lady because I'm like, when was the last time she's seen a young man naked? And okay, this is another thing. So she has a live-in boyfriend and we were talking, when we first met. And I was like, oh, who's this guy? She's like, oh, well, after my husband died, I decided to, get remarried. And I went a little younger. And I was like, oh my God, he's 64. Okay. So it's not like she went super young. She's 83 and he's 64, cougar. But he's only 2 years younger than my dad. But he's older than my dad because he got double knee surgery and he's in a scooter. He's never walking. I mentioned earlier that she has a hard time walking. This guy doesn't, he has a motorized vehicle as transportation all the time. He takes his scooter to the next house over because it's an empty house. That's a different story. It was filled with Mexicans and then Trump got elected president and it's been empty ever since. Where did they go? But he goes over there because she doesn't like the smell of smoke. So anyway, my dad got one knee done, a shoulder done, just in this last calendar year. He only took off a week and a half of work. And I was like, Dad, take more time off. He's like, I don't got any time. I retire in August, I was like, why the hell are you? I got to keep your mom happy. You know how it is. No, I don't know how it is. That's abuse, Mom. Let the man stop. I mean, he's retired now, but I was like, shit, all of that for a little, they're not, they live on it has to be worth at least $250,000 farm. At this point, they got it in the housing market crisis in 2008. He just now retired. They bought this house and then they've worked themselves to death to keep it up and pay for it. Now it's worth almost triple the value that they bought it for. All right, I'm not trying to give like what they bought it for, but it was 3 times less in 2008 than it is now. I'm like, sell that bitch. Sell that bitch. Make a dime. Make several dimes. Get a coin purse. All right? Like, take that money and run. Where are all my animals gonna go? I have to wait till they die. That is the saddest reason to move, Mom. Just get up here. Okay? But anyway, back to my dad and the guy across the street. And how I thought that my hog gave this old lady a heart attack. So, this guy, he's only like 62, 63. Double knee surgery, is in a scooter. She can barely walk. And I'm thinking about my dad, and I was like, you had your shoulder done. You had major shoulder surgery. You had major knee surgery this year. And I'm like, you only took a couple weeks off work. Who the fuck are you, Fred? Fucking Superman? A lot of you guys don't understand just how awesome my dad is. I mean, when there's no pain, there's no gain. That's been his whole life. Not only did he fall in love with my mom, she had 4 children from a previous marriage. He took all of that in and worked 2 jobs. I'm talking wastewater plant, pulling out shit rags. I'm talking about being a realtor when he got off work. And I don't quite understand that. I'm like, why is Dad only playing baseball with me for a little bit in the backyard? But he took me to all my games. When there wasn't a bus scheduled, he fucking took my ass to work. Same thing for all my older sisters. That, ladies, is a man. That, kids, is a dad. Awesome. Shout out, Pops. I got really, and this is my fault because I don't rehearse anything. I just start going, and it turns into like Kathy Griffin talking about celebrities, but mine is just different anecdotes from my life that I find interesting, thinking that maybe you guys would want to hear. So I got lost in talking about how great my dad is. And I mean, I like him right now. I'm just kidding. No, I love him so much. He's great. But I got lost and I didn't finish the story about the old lady possibly seeing my hog across the street. Long story short, her child did a wellness check because they hadn't spoken in a couple days, and I guess they weren't answering like each other's calls or something. So she did a wellness check. So the 2 female police, if this was about my hog, there was 2 female police officers in a police SUV knocking on this old woman's door that I thought was all about my hog. But it was just they were doing a wellness check because her daughter hadn't heard from her in a while. And I'm like, thank God, okay? This is freaking insane. And I know some of you idiots are gonna try to... Have you guys seen that video where that English girl is like, you idiot? Oh, it's so funny. But I know some of you idiots are gonna be like, of course she's seen a younger man naked in her old age. There is the internet. However, I'm going to challenge you on this. She was showing me her dead, she's a widow technically, her dead husband left her all of this memorabilia from like the Kentucky Derby and horse races in her basement. And I was like, why is she trying to get me down to her basement? What's she trying to do? Now this was pre-Hog Flash, okay? But I know what I look like, and I'm a 7, okay? But to an old lady who's maybe not getting any, I'm a 10, okay? That's just how it is. I can't help it. So she led me down to her basement. She showed me her Kentucky Derby glass collection and all of these things. Very, very, very fantastic. But we started talking about family, and she was talking to me about like how many grandkids she had, her daughters, all of this stuff. And we were talking about something about how she was saying she knew what the inside of my house looked like. But the way she was saying it made me understand just how little she understands the internet and technology. She's like, yeah, there's a place online where you can go and I can see what the inside of your house looks like right now, Freddie. And I was like, what? That is so crazy. And I have this old security camera up here, and I was like, are the previous owners spying on me? What is going on? Because it is my house, so if I'm skinny dipping in the backyard, imagine what I'm doing inside. I'm like cranking my hog everywhere, you know? Why is my grass so green? I'm fertilizing it myself. How do you save so much money on lawn care? Self-sufficient. So anyway, she is like going on this and that, and I'm like, she's probably, she doesn't look up porn. She barely uses the internet. She barely understands. She was talking about Zillow, what the previous owners had the house like. You look up the pictures and you can see it on Zillow. So I was thinking about her just probably not ever like looking at porn and my hog, my wild hog, as if it's some sort of like Pokemon in the wild, like, oh, you know, or a wild hog appeared, you know. But she's probably out there like, who's Alexa? Who's Siri? I have so many grandchildren, it's hard to keep up with them. I'm done.